Lovely viewers, gather around. If you thought Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo had already reached maximum cuteness with their beautiful family moments, think again, because their twins have officially entered the spotlight, and the entire world cannot stop screaming over how adorable they are. Yes, you heard that right. The twins have just starred in their very first magazine shoot, and fans are calling the photos the cutest pictures ever taken in K-drama history. And trust me, once you hear the details, you'll understand exactly why the internet is losing its mind. Picture this. The moment the magazine announced the release, the website crashed within minutes. Fans from Korea, China, the Philippines, Nigeria, the US, everywhere, rushed to see the twins. And the reactions. Pure joy overload. People were literally commenting things like, "My ovaries are crying. These kids just healed my soul." And this is the family of the century. But before we get into how global the movement is, let's take you behind the scenes of that unforgettable photo shoot, because the story is just as adorable as the photos themselves. It all started when the editorial director of the magazine reached out to Lee Min-ho, asking if he and Song Hye Kyo would be open to letting the twins appear in a family-themed edition. At first, the couple hesitated. They've always been protective parents, wanting their children to have a normal, calm upbringing. But then, after days of talking, reflecting, and laughing about how much personality their twins already had, they decided, why not? Let's capture this precious moment while they're still this little. And so, on a sunny morning in Seoul, the family arrived at the studio. Lovely viewers, imagine the atmosphere. Every staff member was trying not to explode from excitement the moment they walked in. Lee Min-ho was carrying one twin in his arms while the other was holding tightly onto Song Hye Kyo's hand. The babies were dressed in tiny pastel outfits that made them look like walking clouds. Even the stylists couldn't believe how photogenic the twins were. One of them whispered, "These kids are going to break the internet," and she was absolutely right. The first picture they took instantly became everyone's favorite. Min-ho was sitting on a fluffy white couch, holding their son on his lap. The baby kept grabbing his father's nose and giggling in that uncontrollable way only babies can. Min-ho couldn't stop smiling, a smile so genuine that fans said it was the softest expression they've ever seen from him. Right next to him, the crew captured Hye Kyo with their daughter, who was resting peacefully against her chest. Viewers, the serenity of that moment. It felt like love itself was glowing on the page. But here's where things got even more adorable. During the shoot, the twins kept crawling toward each other, bumping into each other, hugging one another, and even touching noses like baby penguins. The photographer didn't even need to direct them. Everything they did was naturally perfect. At one point, the little girl tried to grab her brother's hair, and instead of crying, he burst into laughter. That photo, yes, that exact candid moment, ended up on the front cover. What stole the nation's heart even more was how Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo looked at their kids the entire time. You could see it, the pride, the awe, the gratitude. These were not superstar actors on set. They were parents, completely in love with their children. Fans said the way Min-ho adjusted his daughter's tiny socks, or how Hye Kyo wiped drool from her son's chin, showed what true family tenderness looks like. People were replaying behind-the-scenes clips non-stop, commenting, "This is the kind of love we all pray for." And just when everyone thought the photos couldn't get any more precious, they released the iconic family shot. Min-ho had one arm around Hye Kyo, and the twins were sitting between them, holding small plush toys. The babies were smiling so brightly it felt like they were literally radiating happiness. The magazine later revealed that the twins laughed because Min-ho started making silly faces behind the camera, while Hye Kyo tapped their cheeks gently to keep them focused. Can you imagine that? Two of Korea's most elegant celebrities making goofy faces just to make their kids laugh. Lovely viewers, isn't that the cutest thing ever? But the real emotional moment came during the interview portion. Min-ho talked about how fatherhood changed him, how seeing the twins' faces every morning makes him feel like he found a new purpose in life. Meanwhile, Hye Kyo opened up about the beauty and challenges of motherhood, saying she sometimes looks at her babies and still can't believe they are real. She admitted that she and Min-ho often sneak into the twins' room together at night just to watch them sleep. Fans reading that part instantly melted, saying, "This is the fairy tale ending we didn't know we needed." The magazine also shared heartwarming anecdotes from the staff, like how Hye Kyo kept calling the twins "my angels," and how Min-ho was juggling both babies during breaks, even though the assistants kept offering to help. He refused every time, saying, "I don't get enough time with them. Let me enjoy this." This wasn't Lee Min-ho the superstar. This was Lee Min-ho the doting dad, and fans were swooning. The internet reaction afterward was explosive. The photos trended #1 on Twitter for 48 consecutive hours. Fans created fan art of the twins. Some people even joked that they already have more charisma than most adult celebrities. Others said the twins were destined for K-drama stardom, modeling careers, or even becoming global influencers. And the parents? They simply thanked everyone for the love and asked for continued respect for their children's privacy. Lovely viewers, this photo shoot wasn't just pictures. It was a celebration of family, of love, of growth, of new beginnings. We've watched Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo evolve from actors we adored on screen into parents we admire in real life. And now, seeing their twins shine, even for just one magazine feature, feels like witnessing a new chapter in a story that keeps getting sweeter. If you're smiling right now, if your heart feels full, if you feel like you just witnessed something magical, don't worry, you're not alone. Everyone who saw those photos felt exactly the same way. The twins didn't just star in a magazine shoot. They starred in the nation's hearts. After the magazine photos went viral, the twins instantly became the adorable center of attention everywhere. Fans began creating compilations, edits, and even animated versions of the photos, turning the twins into tiny cartoon characters who playfully ran across the screen. The videos gained millions of views, and people in the comments said things like, "I don't even know these babies personally, but I love them with my whole heart," and "This family deserves every happiness in the world." The love was global, overwhelming, and beautifully unified. Even celebrities couldn't resist. Actors, idols, and models left comments congratulating Min-ho and Hye Kyo, admiring the twins, and praising the natural warmth captured in the photos. Some even shared the images on their own Instagram stories with little captions like, "Cuteness overload," and "My heart is soft today thanks to this family." The sweetest responses came from industry seniors who watched Min-ho and Hye Kyo grow up as actors and now felt emotional seeing them as parents. One veteran actress wrote, "I remember when these two were just young rising stars, and now look at them, raising such precious little souls." Lovely viewers, fans started calling the twins the healing babies of South Korea, because everyone agreed that their smiles had a calming, joyful energy that made people forget their worries, even if just for a moment. But the story takes an even sweeter turn when behind-the-scenes staff members began sharing more details about how the twins behaved during the shoot. One makeup artist said the little boy kept trying to grab her brush, fascinated by how soft it felt. She joked that he might grow up loving art or design, while the baby girl seemed to love lights. She kept staring at the studio lamps with those wide, sparkly eyes full of wonder. The photographer even said he'd never seen babies so naturally at ease in front of the camera. "It's like they knew exactly what to do," he said. "They didn't cry, didn't get overwhelmed. They were just curious and full of life." And that's when the media pundits began predicting that the twins might someday follow in their parents' footsteps. Not because of pressure, but because their natural charm was already shining. But wait, lovely viewers, there was another touching detail. The outfits the twins wore in the shoot were actually selected by Min-ho and Hye Kyo themselves. They spent an entire evening at home choosing the cutest outfits, holding up tiny sweaters, soft baby socks, and adorable accessories while debating gently like the sweetest couple. Min-ho kept picking anything blue or green, saying their son looked cool in those shades, while Hye Kyo leaned toward warm beige and pink tones for their daughter, saying it made her look like a little angel. At one point, Min-ho jokingly tried to put a miniature beanie on their daughter at home, and she giggled so hard she fell back into his lap. That very beanie ended up being worn in the shoot's final photo. Fans melted when they heard that story, saying, "This family is unreal. They're too perfect." And as if the world hadn't already gotten enough cuteness, the magazine's official YouTube channel dropped a behind-the-scenes video. Lovely viewers, that video nearly broke the internet. It showed Min Ho bouncing one twin on his leg while pretending to be a plane, making vroom vroom sounds that shocked fans because no one expected the famously cool actor to be such a playful dad. Meanwhile, Hye Kyo was softly singing to the other twin, brushing her hair with gentle strokes. There was a moment where both babies reached for each other at the same time, their tiny hands meeting halfway like they were greeting one another. And fans declared that the twins were the cutest siblings in Korean entertainment history. But what truly touched everyone was the emotional confession Hye Kyo made at the end of the video. She said in the softest voice, "Being a mother is the hardest and most beautiful job I've ever had. My children teach me something new every day. They make me brave, they make me gentle, they make me whole." Lovely viewers, fans cried. They cried real tears because hearing Song Hye Kyo, a woman known for her elegance and composure, speak about the depths of her love made everyone emotional. Comments poured in from mothers around the world who felt connected to her words, saying she expressed what they felt but never had the right words for. And Min Ho didn't hold back either. He said something that made fans' hearts swell. "When I look at them, I feel like I would do anything in the world to keep them safe and happy. Everything I've achieved feels meaningful because now I'm building a future for them. If that isn't fatherhood expressed in the purest form, I don't know what is." Lovely viewers, you'd think this was enough for one day. But the story kept growing. Brands began contacting the couple, offering partnership deals, wanting the twins to model baby products. But in the most grounded, humble way, Min Ho and Hye Kyo politely declined every single offer. They said they didn't want their children to grow up under pressure or be commercialized at such a young age. They agreed to the magazine shoot because it was a one-time precious memory they wanted to capture. But beyond that, they want their twins to enjoy a normal childhood. Fans respected them deeply for that decision, praising them for protecting their children's well-being above fame and money. Meanwhile, the grandparents' reactions also became a viral topic of discussion. Hye Kyo's mother reportedly cried when she saw the photos, calling the twins little gifts from heaven. Min Ho's parents printed some of the pictures and framed them immediately, placing them in the family living room like priceless treasures. A relative even joked that Min Ho's father refused to let anyone touch the frames without proper hand-washing. Lovely viewers, every layer of this story is sweeter than the last. As days passed, fans noticed how even small details about the twins brought joy to millions, like their matching dimples, the way they tilt their heads in the same direction when they're curious, and how their smiles resemble a perfect blend of their parents. And Min Ho, he couldn't stop talking about how proud he felt. He once said in a private fan call, "Every day they grow a little more, and every day I fall in love a little more." Fans fainted. But the most adorable update came when Hye Kyo shared that the twins absolutely adored seeing their own pictures. She said they stared at the magazine pages, touching their own faces with tiny fingers, giggling as if they knew they had taken over the world with their charm. Lovely viewers, can you imagine babies looking at their own photos like they're superstars? That alone could melt glaciers. And then came the sweetest, most emotional message of all. The couple released a tiny handwritten note at the bottom of the magazine's digital version. It said, "Thank you for loving our family." Well, lovely viewers, the reactions that poured in after that question became a story of its own. A story filled with warmth, unity, excitement, and emotions that pulled the entire fandom even closer together. Fans across the world began discussing passionately. And what surprised everyone was how beautifully inclusive and respectful the conversation became. Some fans felt strongly that the twins should not appear in any more shoots until they're old enough to make their own decisions. They said, "Let them grow. Let them play. Let them just be children without cameras flashing." And lovely viewers, what melted hearts the most was the maturity behind these comments. These fans didn't just adore the twins, they genuinely cared for their well-being. Meanwhile, others believed that if the couple ever felt comfortable, another shoot years later, maybe when the twins turn 5 or 7, could be another magical moment for the family and the fans. Not for commercial gain or pressure, but simply because seeing this family together brings joy to millions. People wrote messages like, "We don't need them to be celebrities. We just love seeing their happiness. And if they appear again one day, we'll cherish it. If not, we'll love them just the same. Lovely viewers, imagine this. Online forums, fan groups, Facebook pages, and even K-drama communities were buzzing with gentle debates, heartwarming comments, and adorable fan edits. It was like the entire internet became one big supportive family. And the sweetest part, Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo noticed. Yes, your lovely, iconic, heart-stealing power couple actually came across the ongoing conversations. In a private interview snippet released later, a close acquaintance shared that the couple was deeply touched by how respectfully fans discussed their children's future. They reportedly said, "We feel grateful. It's beautiful to see people care about our twins not just as public figures but as children." Lovely viewers, hearing that alone made fans emotional. It showed that Min-ho and Hye Kyo weren't just reading the love, they were feeling it. And that mutual respect between family and supporters created a bond more meaningful than any photoshoot could ever capture. But here's a continuation you didn't expect. While the couple didn't publicly respond at first, an insider revealed a small, sweet moment that took place right in their home. One evening, after putting the twins to bed, Min-ho and Hye Kyo sat together scrolling through fan comments on their tablets. They laughed softly at some of the cute messages, wiped quiet tears at the heartfelt ones, and felt a deep sense of gratitude. Min-ho even joked, "Our twins have more fan clubs than we did when we debuted." Hye Kyo laughed, nudging him gently and responding, "They definitely inherited your charm." But what happened next, lovely viewers, was even more adorable. The twins' grandparents got involved in the conversation too. When Min-ho visited his parents, they excitedly told him, "We saw online that many fans want the twins to have another shoot. They're becoming little stars already." Meanwhile, Hye Kyo's mother playfully disagreed, saying, No, let them be babies. Their baby days are precious and should be enjoyed quietly at home." The room filled with laughter as both families lovingly debated like fans themselves. And while the world was busy discussing, something even more heart-melting happened behind the scenes. The twins began developing their own small personalities more clearly, becoming even more adorable as the days went by. The little boy, who laughed at everything, started showing signs of being the family comedian. He made funny faces during mealtimes, clapped whenever he saw music videos, and even tried to imitate Min-ho by pretending to walk like a model, which made the entire family burst into laughter every time. The baby girl, on the other hand, started showing signs of elegance. Yes, you heard that right, elegance, just like her mother. She sat with tiny crossed legs, tilted her head gracefully when someone spoke to her, and held her plush toys with the gentlest hands. Lovely viewers, the family even joked that she might grow up to be a little actress or artist someday because of how expressive her eyes were. And fans, oh, they were not left out of these precious moments. Because a few weeks after the photo shoot frenzy settled, an official update came from the magazine themselves. They released a limited edition behind-the-scenes photo booklet featuring unseen moments from the shoot, not for sale, but as a thank you gift for the overwhelming support. Lucky fans who received it couldn't believe their eyes. Inside the booklet were candid moments like Min-ho lifting both twins at once, Hye Kyo kissing her daughter's forehead, the twins holding hands while lying on a soft rug, and even a shot of the whole family laughing at something off camera. People cried tears of joy. Some even framed the pages. Lovely viewers, another heartwarming detail surfaced during this time. A staff member shared that after the BTS shoot ended, Min-ho quietly asked for one extra copy of the family photo to keep in his wallet. That tiny gesture went viral. Fans said, "This man is truly a family man, and he carries love with him everywhere he goes." Hye Kyo also reportedly saved one on her phone as her lock screen, choosing a picture where the twins were smiling from ear to ear. But wait, the story gets even better. One evening, the twins were shown their own photos again, just casually at home. And guess what? The little boy tried to high-five his own image while the baby girl leaned forward and kissed the page. Lovely viewers, this moment made the entire family laugh endlessly. Hye Kyo said, "They love themselves a little too much," while Min-ho responded jokingly, "Well, who wouldn't? They're adorable." As all these moments unfolded, fans continued showering the family with love. They created hashtags celebrating the twins, sharing drawings, mini animations, and heartfelt messages wishing the babies health, happiness and joy. Some fans even said the twins were unexpected therapy during stressful times. Isn't it beautiful how two tiny humans brought so much healing into the world? Lovely viewers, this continuation marks a deeper truth in this beautiful journey. This wasn't just about a magazine shoot anymore. It became a symbol of joy shared across cultures, ages, and continents. It became proof that innocence, love, and family can touch hearts beyond boundaries. And most importantly, it reminded millions that happiness can be found in the littlest smiles.